January 12, 1976, Gulfport, Mississippi. From a gas station payphone, Louisiana resident and Vietnam veteran Richard Gerald Jordan called Gulf National Bank. He wanted to speak with the senior commercial loan officer.
The lady that talked to him gave him the name of Charles Marter. He opens a phone book and looks, and there's only one Charles Marter.
Charles Marter, or Chuck as most knew him, lived on Southern Circle with his wife Edwina and their 2 young boys.
I met Edwina at St. James Elementary School.
This is Peggy Schlogel, widow of the late George Schlogel, a banker's wife, like Edwina.
Her son Eric was a student, and my son Mark was a student. A lovely lady, a good friend, good mother.
That afternoon, Peggy picked her son up from school. Edwina's son Eric was outside, waiting for his mom.
I stopped and I said, "Eric, do you need a ride home?" Because we did that all the time. And he said, "No, ma'am." He said, "My mother is coming." So I left.
Was that strange for Edwina not to show up?
Oh, yes.
No one knew that just a few hours earlier, Richard Gerald Jordan knocked on the door of the Marters' home. What followed is a tragic series of events that former Assistant District Attorney Joe Sam Owen recalls like it was yesterday.
He was claiming to be a rep for General Electric and that he was checking faulty circuit breakers. She took, 4 or 5 steps. He pulls out a gun, points it at her, told her that she was going to have to leave with him. Now, the 2-year-old or 3-year-old was there.
Jordan kidnapped Edwina and left her son behind. Then they drove to northern Harrison County, just outside the DeSoto National Forest. Later that evening, Jordan showed back up in Gulfport, alone. He caught a late movie at the theater, then he made a phone call to Chuck Marter. Jordan wanted $50,000 for the safe return of Edwina.
That night, after he made his first call, and that money was put on the side of the road on the way to Stone County.
Jordan never picked up the money. He was spooked, thought it was a trap set by law enforcement. And he wasn't wrong. Chuck called Gulfport police, then the FBI.
My job was to find out how it was done and who did it, and be able to prove it in court.
Retired FBI Special Agent George Holder worked out of the Gulfport field office in 1976.
It's a kidnap. That's a full court press. Everybody shows up. They'd move heaven and earth if it was necessary.
The next day after the failed ransom exchange, Jordan called Chuck again.
He says, "We'll bring you the money out to Interstate 10. You're going to see a jacket on the side of the road. Put the money there, and you better not have the police with you." And during the various conversations, he would tell Chuck, when Chuck would inquire, says, "Look, your wife's fine. She's asking about the kids."
This time, Jordan picked up the money. Law enforcement was close behind, chased the kidnapper through Gulfport, but Jordan got away. He then ditched his car and went shopping.
He had a blue jumpsuit on. He was looking down the whole time he walked in. He just walked down the middle aisle, then he walked over where the jumpsuits were, and he got a red one. And then he come and asked me where he could put it on.
Did he look like he was nervous?
Nah, he looked nice and calm. Just walked on in.
Jordan then got in a yellow cab. A local man, Jackie Robinson, was behind the wheel.
Jackie Robinson says, "Look, we're going to have to take some back roads. Some idiot has killed a lady." And of course, Jordan doesn't say anything.
Retired Police Chief Wayne Payne was a reserve officer with Gulfport PD at the time.
I was riding with another officer that day, and we got dispatched to Canal Road and 28th Street to set up a roadblock. All of our detectives was working on this case. It was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that.
A few miles away, another Gulfport officer stopped the yellow cab on Airport Road.
He asked him for identification. Said, "You got driver's license?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Let me see him." And he showed him the driver's license, and the picture on the driver's license, it matched with the picture he had in his hand.
He said, "Stay right here. I'll be through with you in a minute." He took about 4 steps and pulled around, pulled his gun out.
Police had the kidnapper in custody, but where was Edwina? Jordan didn't waste much time telling them where to find her. She was alone in the woods, with a bullet wound to the back of the head.
She had enough guts to call Chuck and say, "Well, as long as I get my money, she's going to be fine." And she wants to know how the kids are doing. She was already dead. She was dead before Chuck, I think, ever found out that she'd been kidnapped. His initial story was that he was firing a warning shot. That's what he told us early on.
And this is a Vietnam veteran.
Oh, yeah. And he told us that he was some kind of marksman.
That's not a warning shot a marksman would have made.
No, and besides that, we saw her body. She was face down in her blood. There was no blood in front of her. You know, if he'd have shot her, she would have stumbled. There'd been blood somewhere on the grass, leaves, whatever. Now I'm convinced he just put her on her knees and shot her.
Jordan told investigators he threw the murder weapon, a .38 caliber revolver, in the Biloxi River. When divers found it, the gun was still cocked, with 2 bullets missing from the chamber. Richard Gerald Jordan was convicted of capital murder a few months later in July 1976. At the time, it was an automatic death sentence. Soon, that law would change, a proverbial domino that set in motion a series of legal maneuvers, resulting in 4 jury trials and a never-ending list of appeals.
The trauma of Chuck and his 2 sons having to go through this, but I know it was tough on them. I could just see it in their face, especially Chuck. I know that that poor family went through unmitigated hell. Jordan gave him a false sense of belief that you give me the money, you're gonna get your wife back.
And then to have a gut punch.
Yeah, boy, you just summed it up right. That was a gut punch.
Everybody deserves a fair trial. Don't get me wrong, they deserve a fair trial. But to take 49 years to be put to death, that's just way too long.
The end of the line is fast approaching for Richard Gerald Jordan. His execution is scheduled. But Joe Sam Owens says he's not interested in attending because for him, it's a case file that will never be closed.
Sitting there thinking about, well, my God, you know, where's the end? And I don't know that there's ever an end. There could be an end to life, or there could be an end where if the governor does something where he stays in parchment. But as far as the end of the Edwina Marter story, it'll never be out of my mind. I can't understand why he would take her straight out to her end road and execute her.
Perhaps we'll never get that answer.
No, we won't.
I'm Noah Noble for WLOX News Now.